I'm going to do a recap of what is now the first half of my 100 Days in Making Comics, which feels insane. I started this like halfway through November. It's been 50 days. In these 50 days, when did I upload my last one? Before I literally just talk out of my ass. I literally always get a call as I start recording. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I was looking up. So my 25-day video was uploaded on December 11th. So it's only been one holiday since then. No, two, because of New Year's. It has been 2 holidays that I've been doing these past over 25 days. And I was doing my best to be focused and get things done and all that stuff. I definitely could have done better. I had multiple days that I might have skipped and gone back, but I was focusing on family and life, and sometimes that's just what happens. I'll stop messing with the camera. I messed with it when I was on the phone, and I regret it because I don't know where it was before. So I'll just do like a brief recap of what I did throughout the days and then where I'm going next, what I've learned, all that stuff. So on day 26, I started writing the plot for my secondary main character. Her name is Annie, and I finished that alongside my main character Lily because I went back to add some details to hers after writing Annie's. So I finished that on day 37. So that's about 10, 11 days. And then I started writing the villain story on day 38. There were a couple days with holiday traveling that I didn't have internet or just skipped because I was exhausted from traveling and socializing and all that stuff. But I did all catch up. I finished that finally on day 52, which was yesterday, January 6th, which is a little late, but that's okay. I actually kind of flip-flopped it a little bit, so I was supposed to finish it, but I couldn't focus. So days 50 and 51, I made an outline for the character sheets that I am doing next for the next a little less than 25 days. And then I made a list of all of the characters that I need to do those sheets for, and then I finished. And that's where I'm currently at. So I have my main character's plot outline, I have my secondary character's plot outline, I have the villain plot outlined, and I have character sheets that are ready to be made. Of course, I might slightly edit them from what they are currently looking like, but I'll only know what I need on those sheets as I create them. There's of course plenty of examples that I use to separate out the page and decide what needs to go on there. However, I feel like everyone has their own likes and dislikes when it comes to working and different just preferences, and I don't know mine yet, so I will be figuring that out as I go. This whole process of 100 days has mainly reminded me how long writing takes and how much more focus. Sometimes I just put it off until the very end of my to-do list because I don't want to put that much thought into things. But I do still get to it most of the time. I am very excited to have a few weeks where I'm going to be solely working on designing the characters, because that's the part that originally got me interested in doing things like this, and it's a lot easier to kind of multitask. Like I can draw the character sheet and listen to a video at the same time. I sometimes will do that with writing if it's a little bit more of like a generic breakdown, but when you start getting into the nitty-gritty, it's a lot harder. Like you can't focus on both. Well, you don't usually fully focus on both, but I think anyone else who has to body double or have background noise knows exactly what I'm talking about. Something super fun, plotting 3 to 4 different characters, point of view of the exact same story, is a really fun way to add really specific details to what seems like simple happenings. And I was actually really enjoying that, and it's not perfect. I ended up at the end of my plots just putting like generic ideas of what I want to happen and just putting like, it'll come to me as we go, because in reality, my plot is an idea overarching many books, and there could be things that weren't in the plot outline that end up happening as I write that could affect slightly how the end happens. So it's a little unrealistic for me to force myself to figure out exactly how I want everything to end now. So I just did my best there, and I think that the intertwining POVs will continue to help with that as the story comes to life. And I also just know that the last 25 days of this are probably going to kill me a little bit inside. So in the past, when I've written anything for this story, I've written it as a script because it'll be a comic. And so I felt like I didn't need to have every single detail written out as a novel because it's a graphic novel. However, I think I have changed my mind on that because even if I have a very vivid idea of what I want when I originally write the script, if I don't put visual details in there that remind me of what I want things to look like or feel like or be surrounded by, I'm not going to remember, no matter how detailed I make the little script. And on top of that, sometimes you don't have a very good image in your head of what should be seen. So I think forcing myself to sit down and just write it out and describe it will help both in visualizing it now and visualizing it later and giving myself a strong foundation to draw. But that being said, I sometimes feel like I'm not the strongest at writing grammatically correct, but I suppose I will be the main one reading this, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. But I know that it's going to bother me, and I know that it's going to be difficult. It's going to take a lot of time and effort. I'm not trying to finish the first book in 25 days by no means. I believe, so my goal is beginning of February. When I'm 75 days in, I will start writing the novel. I will have the intro written by the end of the 100 days, and I'm not quite sure what I'm doing after that yet, but I know that I want to keep working on this, even if it's at a very slow pace, because this is like my big dream, big end goal is to have this become its own story one day. So I might not every single day do something, but I'm gonna try to come up with some sort of plan to keep it on my list of things that I'm doing and working towards writing. I think that is about it. I think this one is short and sweet, but I hope that, if you've been keeping up, that you enjoy. I will still be posting every day that I do this on my stories on Instagram and TikTok, as long as TikTok is around. I will see y'all in my stories or just in my next video. Have a good one. Did I just make a farting noise?